Welcome to the Crunchy Moms Unfiltered, the podcast where we question everything and say the things no one else will. I'm April Locani, a serial entrepreneur turned naturopathic practitioner and just a truth-seeking mama.
And I'm Brandy Lemire, a social media influencer, a certified nutrition response practitioner, and just a crunchy mom who's done with censorship and refuses to co-parent with the government. April and I built this podcast as a safe space for moms and dads to have real, raw, uncensored conversations.
From what's really in our food to the truth about modern medicine, we're diving deep into the topics no one else wants to touch because an informed mom makes empowered choices.
No filters, no fear, just real, raw talk. Welcome to Crunchy Moms Unfiltered.
Welcome back to Crunchy Moms Unfiltered. We are the podcast where we talk about uncensored truth, all real life, raw conversations about all the things that gets you censored on social media, like food safety, big pharma, big food, endocrine disruptors, clean products, all the things. And today, our favorite perfume, especially Brandy's, she's so obsessed with this perfume, is on today, Cheeky, and it is an endocrine safe perfume. And we're gonna talk all about that.
Yeah, I think that this is a really important topic. Before we introduce Allie, this is a really important topic because we are so bombarded by endocrine disruptors everywhere. And we're watching women, I went through this deal with infertility. We're watching our girls go through puberty quicker. And you don't think about these things in your, candles and in your plugins and your perfumes. And moms like us that are really mindful of that. When I learned about this years ago, I threw my plugins away, no more candles, started doing my perfume. I had all the great Gucci Guilty was my jam.
The
Britney Spears, the pink and purple bottle. I loved all my perfumes, but I'm like one of those people. Once you learn,
you can't unlearn.
Once you take the pill, you can't go back, right? And
right.
So I've really struggled with perfumes. We have a couple brands we like, but this one I am so excited to get into today. Listen, y'all, I'm several months into a new relationship, and when you're getting ready to go out or go see your person, you want to smell good, but you don't want to put on anything toxic.
Yeah, so it's literally called Cheeky Hormone Health, and this is her baby, right? You're gonna tell us all about it.
Yes. Oh, my baby, I love it. Yeah. Am I ready to just get in?
Yeah, just go ahead and tell us.
Perfect.
What got you started in this low tox lifestyle?
Yeah. So I think it initially started when I wanted to live kind of like a minimalistic and eco-friendly lifestyle. I think that's kind of where a lot of people start. And I feel like the eco-friendly industry and the low tox living are like buddies. They're so close knit. If you get into one, you just get into the other,
Naturally evolves.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started going down a rabbit hole, and as you always do, and I was like, oh my gosh. So all this stuff is bad for the environment, but it's also detrimental to me. I was like, what the heck? So then we sit in that for a little bit. We're making some swaps, the typical stuff. We're changing out our plastic containers. And then we decide that it's time to try for a baby. And so we start wanting to build our family, and it's taken a really long time. We're struggling to just even get pregnant. And then eventually we do get pregnant, and we're super excited. And I have my second miscarriage, and I'm like, okay. And I was just like, I'm just unlucky. This sucks. So we're going to doctors, we're getting blood work done, all that stuff. And they're like, you're perfectly healthy. Nothing's coming back in your blood work. You're fine. You're just really unlucky. And I was
oh my gosh.
Can you tell me that? You're telling me that a perfectly healthy individual can't get pregnant or hold on to pregnancies. I was like, that doesn't make sense in my mind.
It never does. Western medicine never really makes sense.
Yeah. And so I start doing more research, going down more rabbit holes. And I just find that for me personally, my nervous system and endocrine system was just super, super sensitive to all these toxins that were just in my environment. Specifically things that were in my personal care and hygiene products, because that was stuff going directly on my skin.
Right.
And I think what helped me realize that is I come to find out I was low on progesterone. Okay. So I was taking a progesterone cream that you would just put on your forearm, and I would rub it in. And one day it just clicked. I was like, I'm rubbing something on my forearm that's affecting my uterus.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm putting lotion on my hands and deodorant in my armpits. And that's like, who knows where that's going? You know?
Yeah, it's absorbed
You know-
within seconds.
You know what's crazy is you're the third conversation
Third in 24 hours.
we've had with brands that started their company. One is a food brand, one is a clothing brand, and then yours is a perfume, skincare, body care type brand. And all of the journeys started because of an infertility journey. And it was all
Literally.
related to toxins. Every
Every one of
healthy.
them.
They had the same story. That was my fertility story too. I was like 23 and I was told it was unspecified infertility, which is basically we can't find anything wrong with you. There's no we don't know why.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's the worst part.
frustrating.
Like, they don't know why. You're fine. You found, like, that drives me crazy. Your labs are fine. If my labs were fine, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting, right?
Right.
But how many times do people not realize these things? Like she said earlier, I had Scentsy warmers all over my whole
Oh,
house.
I sold Scentsy.
I used Lysol wipes. I used Lysol spray.
I Febrezed my kids' cribs.
Oh gosh, I didn't go that bad.
Like I didn't know. I was 23 years old.
But again, so our toxic bucket, I just said this on the last episode we had. Our toxic bucket, 30 years ago was here. So your body was properly detoxing because it was just a little bit. But our toxic buckets are here and it's overpouring, and that's where the symptoms are happening, and everything's happening without, like, outside of that toxic bucket that we cannot handle. And because of that, we're causing what problems?
And then, like, I start telling this story to my sister-in-law, and she's pregnant at the time, and I'm just like, I can't, like, oh, I'm struggling. What the heck? And we get talking, and she had really painful periods and had an awful experience with birth control. And so the more research we do, we find out that this stuff is also affecting women's just menstrual cycles overall. And then we're like, we got to do something about this. We started working on some recipes just on our own and using it for ourselves. And then we're like, we got to, like, make a business. And so we pulled our husbands into it, and they do, like, the tedious business stuff. And then we get to do, like, the fun little social media and making all the potions, whatever.
Love it.
And Cheeky was born.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love it. So before we get into, she put hers on over here. I'm like, oh,
I did. It smells really
very
good.
different than mine. So she has we'll get into the products, but she has vanilla sandalwood. I have vanilla rose. And vanilla rose is like, I love sandalwood, but the vanilla rose.
Oh, I do love me some rose. I kind of just want all of them. I think I'm going to get all of them.
Yes.
I've just decided
that
right
we're obsessed. So, okay. So let's talk about hormones. And I know I used the word endocrine disruptor when we started, but I think a lot of people might not know what that is.
Oh yeah, my bad. I did too.
Yeah, it's okay. So what is an endocrine disruptor? How does that have to do with your hormones, and how does that affect your body?
Yeah, absolutely. So an endocrine disruptor or hormone disruptor, or you'll also hear the abbreviation EDCs, is anything that mimics, blocks, interferes, or with hormone production or signaling, and also detoxification of the body. So a good example of this is in artificial fragrances, you'll commonly find something called xenoestrogens. And they have a similar chemical makeup to estrogen. So in a women's cycle, we've got estrogen and progesterone that do, like, this teeter-totter balance throughout our cycle. If estrogen's high, progesterone's low, and vice versa.
Yes.
So when estrogen goes to get cleared out of the body, this is how I had it explained to me. There's, like, these little taxis that pull up to estrogen. Estrogen loads into the body and it gets taken out of the body. And then that way progesterone can rise. But xenoestrogens, having that chemical makeup so similar to estrogen, they jump in the taxis and take off before estrogen can even load in.
This is the stuff we learned in naturopathy school. So I'm like, yes, that's accurate. That's 100% right.
So then our estrogen is stuck in our body. It's not able to leave, so it stays high, meaning that our progesterone can't rise. Now, this is detrimental for both women and men. Women, this makes your cycle super irregular. It makes them super painful. It can cause worse symptoms of pre- and postmenopausal. And then for men, it's also bad because if your estrogen is high, your testosterone can't rise. Right? So that's
So we have all these like feminine men.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
We
Did
got all
you
these
know?
feminine men.
No, seriously. That in like the past, oh my gosh, what was it? I think men nowadays have 30% of the testosterone that men had back in the 70s.
And a lot of that's, and this is like a total rabbit hole, but this is where we do that.
I love
The birth control, just like you eat birth control, right? Then you go to the bathroom.
it's in our
and you
water.
eat in the toilet, and then you flush it, and then it goes into your water system. And it's one of the things that are one of the hardest things to filter out of water.
Well, it's also though in our meat. We
Yep.
talk about the hormones in our meat. You really want to trip into another rabbit hole. You talk about
We might just push you in there, girl, boys, whatever, everybody.
I'm ready.
Male and female cells that
are in those
whole,
vaccines.
We that's what we do here.
You come in and we push you in there.
Mention one rabbit hole, and as you're poking out of that one, you get kicked into the next one. Never
dumped again.
On your first, you never come out fully.
And we'll see you on the other side. But really, though, we have a lot of feminine men, right? We have a lot of this battle with binary and all these things. And listen, I don't care what you do. Jesus loves everybody. And I'm a firm believer of that. However, everything is really confused, right? And a lot of these things people don't put into the bigger picture of mental health or hormone health or just reality of what's being consumed by us.
Well, I think a big one too, to go back to what you were saying with fertility and putting things on your skin and whatnot. We're watching young girls need bras at like 9 years old, and we're watching young girls starting their period at 10 years old, and it shouldn't be that way.
It should not be that way. Thyroid dysfunction, all sorts of things are happening, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, the early puberty is detrimental for boys and girls. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't get me started on that. Oh, it's crazy.
I know. It's so sad because you see it like in your own house when you have kids, and then increased asthma because, we can go into that. But that leads me to my next question really quick before I get into it, just in case. How do you look for hormone disruptors and endocrine disruptors in over-the-counter products? Like, how would you instruct someone, or maybe even in their own home? How could we instruct the mom listening to this going, oh my gosh, what was I use that. I use this. What would you tell them to look for so that they can understand how to stop the problem?
Yeah. I'd say, first of all, look at everything that's like fragrance based in your home. Any of your candles, your plug-in like Glade stuff, so bad for you. Look at your perfumes, your deodorants. Oh my gosh. I think especially perfumes and deodorants, because think about where you're putting that. You're putting it on your main lymphatic drainage points, like right in your armpit and in your groin area. You're like, that's a highway to the rest of your body.
Yes.
Yes. But most commonly, if we were to look at like ingredient labels, we're going to look for parabens and phthalates. Those are probably the most common ones you're going to see. And the role that they play in products is they're there to preserve and stabilize fragrance and texture in your products. So like good intentions, bad idea, So how you look for parabens is you're going to look for that suffix that is the just paraben. So PARABEN at the end of any word. And if it has that, get rid of that product. Phthalates, that's going to be like your fragrances and stuff too. You're going to see those. That's going to be your DEPs, DBPs, DEHPs. And a lot of products will if they're trying to be more clean, and this is where greenwashing will get you.
Greenwashing. I'm so glad you said it.
Fallen for it. I follow
greenwashing next, y'all.
Yeah. But they'll put it on the front of the, I don't know if I have anything nearby, but on the front of the label, they'll say no paraffins or phthalates. And people are like, oh, great. And they'll throw it in their cart. Still look at that back label, because there's so many other things in there that are toxic for you, such as formaldehyde, your synthetic fragrances, your aluminum can be pretty dangerous to you too. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to memorize all this stuff before I go to the grocery store, and look at all my labels, or I have to go through everything in my house and read the entire list. That's so overwhelming. So what helps is we live in a wonderful world where we've got technology and there's apps.
Amen.
So there's like my top 3 apps that I use is EWG, Yucca, Skin Safe, and then Think Dirty is another one. There's tons
Think
out
dirty.
there.
Yeah, there's
but,
a lot more
like,
now.
there's apps for that and you don't have to do all the work. I will say that when you like scan something, look at why it's rating it. And like, for example, some food stuff will come back and it's like, oh, high in sodium. Oh, well, I'm taking that thing for that sodium, you know? So just like in food and products, like skincare products, just look at why you're taking it or why you're using it and use an app because it's so much easier.
It's so much easier. We actually have an ingredients guide because of this, but it's for food, but because of the overwhelm. But let's also touch on one more thing before we move on. The word fragrance is a legal loophole to hide a multitude of ingredients. So
Yes.
all the things that she just said ties into fragrance-based products, but you actually want to avoid the ingredient called fragrance because they hide so many things in it.
So I think it's important to note too, with what you're saying, how, and this should be illegal, but
Yeah, they're not required.
How it'll say something on the front and then you'll flip it over and it'll actually be in the label. I always teach people the front is marketing.
Yeah.
That is meant to catch your eye, to get an emotion going.
Yep.
This is my daughter's dad when we were together. He would come home if he veered off our
list,
our approved food list or what I sent him and whatever. If he veered off, I cannot tell you how many times he would come home with something and be like, "Oh my gosh, look, it says this," and I would flip it over because the front is marketing, the back is reality. I would flip it over and I would read the label and I would be like, "Did you read the label?" And he'd be like, "Well, no. Why do I need to read the label? Look what it says on the front." I'm like, but read the label. Like
that's how they get you.
It's contradicting what's in it. So I think that's something that's really important to point out to people, whether it's your skincare or your shampoo or your food or whatever that might be. The front is meant to grab your attention and give you that, like, "Ooh, I'm gonna buy this." You judge everything by the label. You have to read the label.
Marketing is all emotion based, everything, and companies are not legally required to list certain stuff, especially under that word fragrance.
So that's where it gets really tricky, and that's where we teach a lot of this stuff.
Yes, we do.
You know, natural flavors or
the word fragrance, natural flavors.
Yeah, fragrance, natural flavors. Like they can hide hundreds and thousands of chemicals under those terms. So I just typically teach people to avoid fragrance. If it'll say perfume, if it says natural flavors, if it says, what's the other one I just said? Natural flavors.
Yeah, natural flavors, and then perfume and fragrance. We just avoid all three of those. Yeah, we just avoid all three.
And here's the thing. Here's something that I love to do. Not everyone does this, but if there's like, sometimes there'll be a brand that I like, and it'll say citric acid. That's a whole nother one. It's usually made from black mold or natural flavors. Instead of being like, "Oh, I'm not going to eat that," I go to Instagram and I message the brand and I just say, "Hey, I'd like to know the sourcing of your fragrance, of your natural flavors, of this. Is it da-da-da-da-da? If it's citric acid, is your citric acid natural or synthetic?"
And when they answer like, "This is proprietary, I don't have to disclose that," then you know you probably don't.
Then you don't want it. Or if they say it's fermented is the kind of black mold. If they say, "Oh, it's natural, it's from lemons," cool.
Perfect.
If it's fragrance, what is the fragrance? There's a MLM company. I'm going there. I'm calling them out.
Oh no, she's not.
There's an MLM company that everybody thinks is so clean and it's non-toxic.
She's going.
Melaleuca, I'm talking to you.
Okay.
They have fragrance in their products. Okay, and they won't tell you what the fragrance is.
We've tried.
And they have a couple ingredients that are not clean. They're like, "Well, we're better than." Okay, that's great.
Okay, so then say we're better than. And it's okay to be better than. There's brands that are better than.
If you're a Mellow Peep listening to this, don't hate us. I'm sorry.
Come for her.
Come for me, no. But
I grew up on that. So I know.
It's wild. And so I think that there needs to be transparency. So I message like Siete. I mean, I message big brands and I'm like, "Hey, I need to know this. Like as a mom feeding this to my kids, most of them will answer you.
People don't think they will, but that is a normal thing to do. Like I did something with like the Unreal brand. They were so receptive. They answered. They loved us. They sent us free product because of it. Don't be intimidated just because these brands are big. Just message them.
Yeah.
They actually love it, especially clean ones. The clean ones love it. Now, Luca will not respond.
Well, if they're truly clean, then they're gonna like flaunt that, you know?
Yeah.
They're like,
Right.
yes, we're clean. Here, see. But if they're trying to
if you
hide
have to
something,
dig for an
they'll
ingredient
cover up.
label, or like if they're like word salading you, then
Right. So let's go there and give a definition. What for the new mom? I just got over on the dark side with y'all. I'm still really new. What is greenwashing? Who wants to take it?
Ooh. I'll give my little thing.
Hers will
So
be nice,
when I
yours.
was like first starting into this, you know, you look at everything and you're just like, I want to change everything right now because I have to change it right now. Otherwise, I'm not being a good crunchy mom. Right. And so you're just like, oh, I see this person using these new towels and I see this new thing coming out. And oh, this brand says that they're clean and they're healthy. And you just like change it all and you get so wrapped up and so greenwashed that you see those like trigger words like natural and that you just like flock to that and you just grab it immediately.
Yeah.
And there were a couple products that like after I like kind of settled back and I was like, oh, I'm doing so good that I look back and I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually not good for me. Why is this in my house?
Better than.
Yeah, like that got me good. Lots of plastic-based stuff just because I was like, oh, especially in like the eco-friendly world, because I'm like, I'm not throwing it away. I'm using it for a long time. But the little plastic pieces are still coming off in my water and in my food. And I was like,
no.
God.
So
I
okay,
think- yeah.
the actual definition, because I know some of y'all out there listening that are like, I need the actual definition.
I was gonna look it up, and she picked up the phone first. So I was like,
I've known her too long.
I'm a very fat.
So it's deceptive marketing tactics where companies exaggerate or falsely promote their products, services, or policies as environmentally friendly to mislead consumers or improve their public image. It involves using vague terms, misleading labels, or investing more in green PR than actual sustainability efforts to appear eco-conscious. So it's using terms like natural without any evidence to back it up. That's one, again, I know
Ooh.
it's not going to come from me. Meluca is a greenwash company.
Well, we won't be getting their sponsorship.
If you want to sponsor this podcast, we got to talk about cleaning up your ingredients. But anyway,
you can hire us to do that.
We do that. It's just shameless plug right there. We help companies clean up their products.
We do.
But no, I think it is. It's like we're talking about the marketing versus reality on the back. That is greenwashing. When you say something on the front to get someone's attention that doesn't back up what's actually in your products, that is greenwashing. And it works really well on men.
Yeah, they're the target. Let's be honest.
But women
Yes.
don't know what they don't know. And I feel like part of it too, it's really overwhelming to read labels. And it's really overwhelming to understand what you're looking for and to understand all the big words and all the things. And my go-to is if you can't pronounce half of what's in it, you shouldn't be buying it. And then it's just looking up, like if you're buying something, great example, I talked about the new man in my life, right? He had like a bunch of products that he was taking that had sucralose in them, and he didn't fully realize sucralose was bad. So I started educating him on sucralose, and then he started paying attention, never thought to look it up. It's like, oh, it's a natural sweetener. Like it's what everyone thinks. Once I started
word vomiting,
I tend to do that. What sucralose was, in like, I think it was an energy drink in his car. And I was like, bro, this has sucralose.
We don't do energy drinks anymore.
No.
We're done.
Oh.
But then
Get
it
you
was
some
like,
Nutri-Grass.
there's sucralose in my pre-workout, and there's sucralose in this, and now it's in this. And so it goes back to, knowledge is power and just learning these things.
Knowledge is power.
Can I put a little plug in?
Yeah.
When we were like, okay, don't come for me. But when we were creating this business, we had to get FDA approval for some stuff. The FDA can't regulate or doesn't regulate the terms organic and natural. So,
I know. It's disturbing.
Like, that was so frustrating.
This one might get us a little bit of attention here today. What do you guys think? So that is a huge thing. The FDA is a huge problem because they were created to protect us. which was a great concept. But what ended up happening is these big box brands ended up becoming the people on the chair of the FDA or the boards, the sponsors, and the contributing partners behind the FDA. And that's when it kind of all shifted. And it doesn't truly make sense for why they were created. Just like the Surgeon General's office, the places that control the products we put in you, like breast implants. Those people who are meant to tell you that they're safe for you are the same plastic surgeons putting them in you. There's a huge conflict of interest. And and nobody really knows that till you dive deep down the rabbit hole, and they really don't want to hear it. But it's so true.
Yeah.
So let's go in before we wrap this up. I know we didn't lose anybody. None
No.
of y'all jumped up and you're like, what are they going to say next?
Yeah, what?
Let's jump into, I'd like to wrap this up just talking about your product.
Yes.
Because literally, I mean, I don't know if you're watching me, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm
Oh,
sitting
it
here
smells so good.
smelling it. Like I cannot tell you enough how obsessed I am with this scent. So Vanilla Rose is the bomb. Y'all need to go get it. But what all do you have? And then, we'll obviously put a link in the show notes, and I'm going to share something in my story when we get off here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so perfume is like our big thing. Perfumes and colognes, just because that's the biggest thing. Yeah, we've got some colognes. Our like sandalwood vanilla, that's like more of our cologne based one. And we're coming out with a men's line soon.
Yeah.
Our husbands are working on it. Our husbands are in charge of it. So they're like super excited that they get to use their creative space right there.
That.
Yes. And then actually on our website, you have the chance to go in and make your own perfume where you get to mix and match and make your own scents there. And so that's been like when we do our farmers markets and all that, that's like our big event is everybody comes and they make their own perfumes and it's a hit. They love it. But aside from that, we've got like your skincare routine. We've got your oil cleanser, your tallow moisturizer. We've got your serum. We got a nail and lash serum. We have body butter, which is my favorite. I originally made the body butter when I was pregnant and starting to get stretch marks, and it worked wonders. And then, of course, a lip balm because you gotta. It's so easy to throw a lip balm in there. But we're still super simple right now. Still mainly education based with products on the side, but yeah,
I love it.
Love that. Where are you locally based out of?
So we're in Bluffdale, Utah, like part of Salt Lake City. Yeah.
Oh,
love
I spent
it.
a lot of time I had in-laws in Utah. I love Utah.
Oh, yay.
I've never been there.
I love it here.
I've
That's
never
awesome.
been there.
Well, our big thing, like we said, is just having conversations that educate. And we educate on all the things. And we're talking to, our goal is to talk to that mom that we were, who didn't know, that mom that was spraying her kids' blankets down with Febreze that didn't know any better, right? And I had the Glade plugins in every freaking room in my house.
We'll forgive her.
Because I didn't know better. So we want to help educate that mom. And that's why we share this. And we love partnering with brands like yourself that are out there trying to do the same thing. And they're making products that work. And that, like, I've tried some other natural perfumes or natural products. And sometimes you're just like,
I was going to say that. Like,
meh.
Back in the day, I feel like when it's natural, you're like, that doesn't work. Like everyone had that image, right? But nowadays it's like, oh no, they work and they're bomb.
I tried everything. Like for deodorant, guys, let me tell you, I tried like straight up just lemon juice in my armpits for natural deodorant because I was like, anything, please, anything other than the toxic stuff. So I get it. I've been there.
Deodorant's a rough one. Deodorant, that's a whole nother. We need to do a thing on that because then you go, if you're someone like me, I go with the baking soda. And I'm like, baking soda tears me apart. And so I have to it's crazy.
Me too.
I'm super high maintenance with my skin. But so yeah, we thank you for coming on here. We love your products.
Yeah.
Vanilla Rose, y'all. Vanilla Rose, I'm telling you. We will link all this in the show notes. And as the new products come out, y'all need some testers.
We're here.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can have you come on and talk about the men's line.
Yeah.
When it launches, for sure.
That'd be great. Awesome.
Thank you for joining us as always. Crunchy Moms Unfiltered. We'll see you next time, guys. Hey guys, thank you for joining into today's episode. We want to take a minute to honor our sponsors. Today's sponsor is the School Rockwell, School of Medicine, Holistic Medicine. And in every single episode, we like to honor each one of our sponsors so that you guys know exactly what we're doing in our everyday lives. You'll be able to find all of their information in our show notes on every single episode. So today, Brandy, share a little bit with us about Rockwell.
Okay, if you're like April and I, and you're the kind of person that's constantly asking, but what's actually causing this? You're going to love Rockwell School of Holistic Medicine. So we've partnered with them because that's exactly how we think. They teach root cause, not just symptom management. Like if you're learning how to actually understand the body order and interpret your own labs, and even look at the emotional and spiritual side of things too, because that's really important in your healing journey. This is something we're both personally doing. I'm currently taking their nutritional medicine course, and April is diving into spiritual medicine, which honestly tells you how comprehensive this school really is. Honestly, this isn't just if you want to build a business. This is for your home, your kids, your family, your everyday decisions. It's fully online, self-paced, and how medicine should have been taught. And just for our listeners, they're giving a $777 discount. So check the show notes for information and the coupon code.